How do you tell your children that you've got cancer? Must be a horrible, terrible thing to have to do. And once you've broken the news, how do you help them through such a devastating family crisis, which could even ultimately result in the loss of a parent? With me in our Ross studio is Sue Trevethan, whose own experience led her to set up a charity to support young people and help them cope when a family member develops a life-threatening illness. Morning, Sue.
Good morning.
Now, I know you don't want to go into too much personal detail, but what can you tell us about your story?
Well, in 2006, I was working with young people because that's my background. And unfortunately, I got the devastating news that I'd been diagnosed with cancer. And I have 3 young children of my own, or did. And I had to go home and tell them, which was awful.
Yeah, it must be one of those things. I mean, I would imagine it's terrible, absorbing the news yourself. But then, of course, you have to break the news to them. So, I mean, how did you go about it?
Well, I decided, my husband and I decided from the beginning that we wouldn't ever tell them, a lie, or we'd be straight with them from the beginning. My son was just going up to senior school, and my middle daughter was just doing her GCSEs, and my eldest daughter had just left home. So they were all in various stages. And as I say, I just finished setting up a peer support programme throughout Herefordshire for Childline. So it's a sort of area that I was comfortable in, but obviously when it's you and it's happening to you, it's absolutely awful. And to watch their faces, no mother, no parent wants to see that face. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, obviously this is, it's 1 in 3, isn't it? People affected by cancer still. Yes. So it could happen to any one of us. Would you have any advice on how to do it? Well,
I think this is what I did. I looked around to see if there was any help for my children, and I went around ringing around seeing what was available, and there was absolutely nothing. And I think the most important thing, and as I say, the background working with young people, that you empower young people to actually, out of a really bad situation, something very positive can come. So I set up Hope Support Services in 2009, and it's just been going from strength to strength. And the key thing is that it's actually a charity of young people for young people. So that was the most positive thing to do.
And how did your children react? How did they take it?
What, me setting it up, or
no? When you told them, what was their reaction?
Well, you can imagine it was devastating. And as I say, the only thing I could reassure them is that I would never lie to them, and that whatever happened to me, they would know about it, and we would go through it together.
Is that the best thing? Is just to be honest?
I think so, because I think when the focus is always on the patient. And certainly as a young person, you've already got lots of things going on in your life. And, if you're walking into rooms where people suddenly stop talking or start whispering, they automatically think, it's me, what have I done now, or worse, that something awful's happening, but they just don't know what it is, and it must be their fault.
Now, your charity, Hope Support, just give us an idea of how it works and the sort of the type of people you work with.
Well, it's basically set up so that we have a youth management team, and we have a chair and a vice chair, etc. And they raise all their own money, they write their own funding bids. And we have 2 youth workers who work with them. And as I say, all the Hope management team are all very qualified people, but they work with them to help them to achieve all of this. And in fact, last September, I managed to get some funding from Macmillan's because they thought, as I say, nobody else is doing this. They would come on board and support us by paying the salaries of our 2 youth workers. And
we've got someone, we've got Jemma, haven't we? Jemma Williams, who's also in the studio with you, Vice Chair of the youth team, so we can hopefully have a quick word with Jemma. Morning, Jemma.
Hiya.
You've got some personal experience of all this, haven't you? How did you get first involved with this?
Well, 3 years ago, my mum was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she went to the breast cancer haven and found a leaflet about Hope when Hope just began. And from there, I started to use the service. And after my mum started to get better, I decided that I wanted to do more and become on the youth management team.
And was it devastating when your mum told you?
Yeah, it was.
Did she find it difficult telling you?
Well, I think so, because I have 2 brothers and a sister as well, so it has sort of affected the whole family.
So obviously you've got this first-hand experience, and how does it feel being able to help people and pass the support on?
To help other people knowing what they're going through. It means a lot, and it also means that they're getting support through other young people.
And what sort of things do you do, Jemma?
We do funding bids. We write funding bids. We do bagpacks. I've done a skydive. We do Hope on the Road
really?
trips once a month, allowing the young people to go out and do something such as we've done fishing trips, skittles and stuff like that.
How was the skydive?
Pretty scary.
Would you do it again? There's the question.
I don't think so.
I'd just like to say that, of course, all of those activities are paid for by the young people themselves.
So
which
it's
is really important.
There's all the funding is diverted towards the charity.
Service delivery, yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously going to have to ask you, how are you now health-wise, Sue? Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm spinning around like I always do, and the service is growing. We're just moving into Gloucestershire now, and yes, I mean it keeps this. I think the whole point is, as with the young people, that if you keep your mind on something and about helping other people, it helps you get through things as well. I'm just very, very proud of the young people that are actually pushing this forward. Last year they won the Diana Award, and they're doing extremely well. We've just got a couple of new Y team members, and as I say, it's driven forwards by them because they know exactly what they want. They're young. You need older people to underpin it, but you need the young people to tell you what they need.
Absolutely. No, and it sounds like a great thing. And as you said, if it's something that keeps your mind focused on other things, it can only be good, and it helps offer support. It's a great idea. Listen, it's so nice to meet both of you. Thanks ever so much for coming on and having a chat with us, and I hope it goes from strength to strength. There we are.
Thank you.
Tell us Monday morning.
Could I also just say that if anybody is interested, if they like to Google Hope Support Services, we'll come up and then they'll look at our website.
Fabulous. Good to speak to you. There was Sue there and Jemma talking to us from our Ross studio. Sue Trevethan, founder and chair of Hope Support based in Herefordshire. Sue's going to feature on tonight's Inside Out programme as well, if you want to see more. It's on BBC One. And if your family could do with some help through a crisis like cancer, as she said, you can find the charity. It's at www.hopesupport.org.uk. Hope Support, all one word, .org.uk, if you want to find out more.